Hi, folks. Rob Downs with Managed IT Solutions, and I am here in front of a big green screen because I am not in my home studio. So we're just going to roll with the big green screen instead of me sitting here fiddling with this thing. Um, Today is Tuesday, so it is our TikTok Tuesday. I am at a conference on cybersecurity and AI usage for small businesses this week, so hence the weirdness and a slight delay. Took me longer to get set up than I was anticipating. Well, it happens. So, don't know if anyone else had some problems yesterday. It was caused by, well, AWS having some major issues. And it also was caused because, well, AWS failed over for certain things and had their failover system set properly, from what I understand. The big problem is mainly the people who are using AWS did not have their failover set properly. So that if the part of AWS that went down had gone down, or maybe another part that they're using were to go down, they can fail over to a different region. And that's a cost savings, plain and simple, if I had to guess. It costs, I mean, you just doubled your resources. So you're probably going to have to spend twice as much money, or not quite as much if it's on standby. But still, it is the price of having that diligence. So uh, people who are using the servers have to decide whether or not it's worth the money, or if they can absorb the downtime. So if you were having issues and it was something important to you, I would raise your concerns to whoever it was that was offline for you and it was important, and realize that perhaps that in the future they will have more resiliency, but you may have to pay more for that. So anyway, it was not a cyber hack, however. It was a failure of some system that there's, I'm pretty sure they found what it was. It was related to DNS. And if you are an IT type person, the big joke of all time is it's always DNS. It's always DNS. So, not a cyber hack. Now, back to our regular scheduled program. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Just to remind everybody that there is a whole month for you to sit there and think about what you should be doing from a cybersecurity standpoint. In my mind's eye, I have gone over passwords, and I think my history is correct too. We have gone over hacking attempts and phishing attempts. Maybe not phishing, maybe that'll be next week. But this week, I wanted to talk about backups. They're big, they're boring, and they're beautiful backups. So, a big distinction: syncing is not the same as backing up. Syncs do make copies of files, like backups make copies of files. However, syncs, since they're not specifically backups, usually aren't tailored to alert anyone in an IT capacity. Usually, that the sync is failing, it's normally going to be something to the end user. And of course, no offense to all end users and even us IT folks, sometimes when we're the end user, we don't see the alert that the sync's not working, or we don't understand what's telling us that it's not syncing. So sync is not backup. Backup is specifically made to take the data, make a copy of it, usually encrypted as well, both during the transport and in its storage. The most syncs are that way these days too. But more importantly, there's a backup log. There's going to be alerts if a backup fails. It's made to notify a failure. So, and in some cases, there's also immutable backups. So, syncs can be overwritten or be turned off. Backups typically cannot, because that's their purpose. Syncs are definitely more end user facing about what's going on. Backups are typically not so for as much forthcoming or telling the end user what's going on. So if you do not have a backup, I highly suggest you have a backup. One of the things that we have seen in the past as a warning for backups is going to be the fact that An external drive is a lovely place to have a backup. The problem is if you were ever to become infected with like ransomware and the backup drive is connected, it will normally encrypt your backups as well. So then you can't read your backup. So always have backups on a separate device that's not physically connected. You can use, the cloud, typically a good place for it. Or you can use something called, we used to call them servers back in the day. Most businesses don't have servers as much. But you can use something called a network attached storage device. You can get those at Best Buy. Western Digital makes one, Buffalo makes one, I think. They're more robust solutions that we usually use because we're looking to manage them remotely versus the Western Digital Buffalo types. Synology makes one. There are a couple different vendors out there to get a NAS, and you can have one for home. I've seen them for about the same price as a good external drive that you would plug in physically. They just have to physically be plugged into your network. Normally, they can't hook up with wireless, so you'd have to physically connect it if you're at home with a network cable into your ISP's firewall modem. If you have a switch, your switch type of thing. So, highly recommend using a NAS if you're going to keep it all local. Use a different username and password, of course, something only you know, and use a password manager to keep track of it so that it's not stored on the computer as easily. So, the backups aren't right easily accessible for somebody who doesn't have a username and password. And normally, the username and password is input into the backup software only. It is not a network share because a network share can also be encrypted. So that's what I've got for cybersecurity this week for this Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I did want to mention AI just a little bit since I am currently attending a cybersecurity and AI implementation conference. AI is a lovely thing. It usually says, how can AI help me with something behind my head when I'm actually thinking on and firing on all cylinders. Sorry. But if you're using AI just for editing emails or creating emails, that's a good place to start. I do that as well. However, start thinking bigger picture. Start thinking about what am I doing that's boring, dull, routine, rote, whatever, and can I get AI to do it? So, be advice. I'll give you some examples possibly here in a moment. What we really want, or I really want people to think about, is that AI, in many times when it's talked about, it's AI and automation, and they walk hand in hand, right? Nobody really says AI and automation. Everybody just says AI this, AI that. It's like Marsha. But without automation, AI is not nearly as useful. There are tools out there that help with automation between various systems, because I'm sure you don't use all the same software from all the same vendor, and they all talk to each other fabulously without any issues. Or in my case, there's a very small subset of vendors that work with another subset of vendors, and I hope that they can talk to each other properly and efficiently. So that's where tools for automation and syncing, having things talk to each other, come into play. And then AI is where you bring AI in to help make decisions based off of triggers from automation, right? So there is still some AI in there. But definitely start thinking AI and automation, and not just AI. So, if you are interested in seeing what we might be able to do for you from an AI and automation perspective, we do actually have a new website. It is MITSAIM, so MITSAIM.com. And you can reach out there and book some time with me, and I can go over what we're looking to offer. So, we typically will take a deep dive, or at least in the initial parts, we'll take a skimming view of what you've got going on, what you would like to do, what we could possibly offer, and then schedule time to do a deep dive. So we do some things that as a business owner you might not think or have not done recently, but you have to do, right? So you need to take kind of stock of how everything works in your business. If you've got a big business, start on one section. If you've got a small business, start on what takes you the longest to do, right? Those are a couple of freebies there for you on how to do stuff if you're looking to automate yourself. So again, want to remind you, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Take cybersecurity seriously this month, and only this month. No, I'm kidding. Take cybersecurity seriously all year round. It's like the essence of giving during Christmas. It should be something that we try to strive for all year round and not just at Christmas time. So cybersecurity awareness is something we should strive for all year round and not just in October. So I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I did manage to get this done remotely while I'm at a conference. So yay, technology. And then I will hopefully see you at the normal time next week. Again, it will be October, so I will again be talking about cybersecurity. And I think I will try to go a little bit more in depth into phishing and email attacks. So looking forward to the next week. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I need to go get my learn on. So